problems today, and that's going to be it. I don't think, unless I get through real early, I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead. Did I start the recording?
Yes.
I did? I want to make
Yeah.
sure I started it. Nobody else started it. Okay. And present screen. So we'll present here. And I'm going to leave the shoot. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Let's give it a second to see if it's going to work. I got to pull up the questions. There's the questions. I forgot to pull up the annotator. Shoot. Let me go pull it up. I'm having a small problem with my annotator for my whiteboard. The annotator is what I'm able to write on the whiteboard with. And for some reason, well, you see it right there. If I click on this, it takes forever to pull up. So I have to go to the start. It's supposed to come up whenever I start the computer, but I've got IPVO. That's who makes this technology with the whiteboard. They're working on it. I had to send them a log of all kinds of stuff in my computer to try to figure out why I have to do this to get it to come up. I have to go to computer, and then I have to go to the C drive, and then I have to go to program files, and then I have to go to IPVO and annotator and double click on or hit open on that button. And then eventually it will come up, I hope, because for some reason it hadn't done it and it's not up yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the first question and hopefully it'll come up, because if it don't come up, I can't write on my whiteboard. All right, so the first question we got, I'm gonna try to go in order. Let me hit subject and see if it'll put them in order. Okay, yep, it's got them in order. First one is 5.3.13. I'm sorry, 5.3.24.13. So this is like number 24 in the book and 5.3 in the book homework. There it is. See how long it took that to come up? I clicked on that, what, 30, 45 seconds ago? And it took that long to pull up. And I called IPVO, and they said that something's wrong. So I spent about an hour last night on the phone with them, going through my computer files, and I finally found the file that they wanted, and I sent it to them via email, and they're supposed to call me back later. They're in California. They're supposed to call me back later and tell me what's wrong. They don't believe it installed correctly. Well, I told them I reinstalled it like 3 times. All right. Anyway, 13. Okay, here we go. First of all, is this a test question? Let's look at it. Yes, I think we went over this one. Well, we'll go over it again. Ain't no big deal. Let me turn on my handy dandy, and I'm going to change this pen to black. And I'm going to change this pen to a highlighter. And I found something else out. And I told them about it. When I click on translucent, it doesn't put a check mark there, but the color is translucent. See? Well, let me turn it off. There we go. There, see? See there? but it doesn't check translucent. So, and the disappearing ink works. I don't use a fountain pen. So, I don't understand it. They said something's just didn't install correctly, so they're going to try to figure it out. But I do like the 2-pen feature. That way I can just switch from highlighter to, I can make one pen a writing pen. I'll shut up. All right. So, there, right here is right there is the 0.78 that you need, because that is, the hitter makes an out 78% of the time. And it says find the probability that the hitter makes 10 outs in 10 consecutive games. 10 is your what? That's your exponent. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my stylus and go up to the board and change to my black pen. And I know that we've got something raised to the 10th power. And of course, that something is the 0.78. So 0.78. I need y'all to take your handy dandy calculator and take 0.78 and raise it to the 10th power. And then I need somebody to give me 5 decimal places.
I got 0.08336.
Okay. Give it to me. Hold on. 0.08. What'd you say?
336.
336. And let's check it and see if Miss Woodward is correct.
Probably not.
What?
I said probably not, but look at me go.
You are on fire. You're gifted and talented. All right. Are the cold streaks unusual? Well, remember I told you the nickel rule. The nickel rule basically says, let me see what this stamp. Where is my text? Got to be a text somewhere. Let me see if it's right here. I'm playing, y'all. Where is text? Ooh, look at there. Text should be on here. I wonder if stamp. No. I don't know why they don't have text on here. Text is where you can actually type in something. Okay, I guess it don't have everything that it's supposed to. All right, let's see if I can write this with the mouse. The nickel rule says that if your probability is below a nickel, if it's below a nickel, then that means it is not normal or it's unusual. If your probability is greater than a nickel, then that means it is normal or not unusual. So you need to write that down, okay? And where does that come from? Anybody know? Comes from the empirical rule. And the empirical rule states that 95% is within 2 standard deviations, and that is what? Normal. Y'all remember me telling you that 95% is normal? And that leaves 5%, 2.5, and 2.5, 2.5% and 2.5%, that is what? Unusual. Well, what is 5% written as a decimal? 5% written as a decimal is what?
0.05.
0.05, so that's where I get the nickel. 0.05 is a nickel. So anytime, I don't care if you're in chapter 1 in this book or in chapter 15 in this book, if your probability comes out to be less than a nickel, it's unusual. If it comes out to be more than a nickel, then it's normal or not unusual. So I'm going to put a U there, not unusual. So what is 0.08336? For some of you people that used to run a cash register or run a cash register, is that greater than a nickel or less than a nickel?
Greater.
Not usual.
Greater than a nickel. That's 8 cents. So the probability of a cold streak is greater than 0.05. There's your nickel. So cold streaks, if it's greater means what? Normal, which means
Not unusual.
there you go. And you should feel good about yourself. Now I'm going to do another one of these. Oh, wait a minute. Here, they just want you to move the decimal here 3 places because of the 1,000. Move the decimal 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. 83.36 is equal to 83. And that's it. Okay, I'd like to do a similar question because since this is a test question and since somebody sent it in as a homework question, I want to do a double. So I'm going to do a similar just to give you some more numbers. All it's going to do is change that number right there. So I'm going to clear this. Oh, I found another thing you can do on this thing. You can divide the screen into 2. There, you can divide it into 2 sides. Ain't that neat? I know, I'm a geek. I know. All right, let's do this one. So that's going to be blank. I wish you'd quit doing that every time I hit the button. Blank to the 10th power. There's the 10th power. And 0.72 goes right here. I'm writing with my mouse right now. So that's why I'm not writing very fast.
You have a work email.
Take 0.72 and somebody give me 5 digits, please, and I'll type it in. 0.72 to the 10th power, please. Give me 5 digits.
0.03744.
Does everybody confirm that?
Yes.
And check. So that means, is it above a nickel or below a nickel?
Below.
Below a nickel. Less than a nickel, so that means it's unusual. And move it 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. 37.4 is 37. Everybody feel good about that one?
Yes.
Okay. Let's move on. I'm going to erase this one. 5.5, 51/16. 5.5, 51/16. How many different sample size, this is a test question, how many different simple random samples of size 5 can be obtained? Okay, reword this. I'm going to see if I can draw a straight line. Can I draw a straight line with this thing? Yep, I can. There's the text. text, you gotta go into tools. I am so smart. Y'all are impressed, aren't you? I know y'all are. I'm going to draw a line through simple random sample. And I'm going to go back. Okay, I'm trying to get this thing to work. There we go. I'm going to hit text. And I'm going to put, well, it's supposed to let me put in, okay, what's wrong? There we go. Well, it's supposed to. There we go. And put how many different groups? How many different groups of 5 can I get from a size of 47? You remember me telling you that there was going to be a committee question versus a board question? Committees don't need officers. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay. So a group and a committee is the same thing. I'm trying to find the eraser. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to do that. Undo. Sorry. Let me make the eraser smaller. That one little line bothers me. I'm sorry. There. Trying to figure out how to move that text after I've drawn it, but I guess you can't. You should be able to click on it and move it, but you can't. Okay. Well, I've done enough. So this is going to be 47 what? Combination 5. And we can take, while y'all are do that on the calculator for me, please. And while y'all are doing that, I'm going to take my handy dandy text thing.
Now, Hubert, where are you getting 47 from?
Right here.
Oh, see, I misreading that. Like I told you I can't see anything, so I was looking at it as it was a 4 instead of a 47. That's how blind I am.
Question okay, or are you just saying you're blind? Which one is it?
I'm just saying I'm blind and I can't read numbers apparently.
Okay. Yeah, that's where
At least I'm honest.
And yes, and I'm going to put committee. I'm going to put that on there. Committee. Oh well, I don't really know how to quite use the text yet, so COMMITTEE. I think that's how you spell committee. It's got 2 M's and 2 T's, hasn't it? Now I don't know. Do I hit enter? Do I hit escape? Or do I hit? There we go. So you could have a test question that says how many different committees of size 5 can be obtained from 47 people in the country club, or how many different groups of 5 can be obtained from 47 students. Okay, this is the same type question. You're going to use combination, and you're going to use 47 combination of 5. And somebody give me that number. Is it 1533,939?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a test question. It may be written a little bit different, but A simple random sample is another word for a group. A random sample is an individual, where a simple random sample is a group. Like if I was to take 5 of y'all and call you group A, and then 5 of y'all call you group B, and put a slip of paper with group A in the bowl, put a slip of paper with group B in the bowl, put a slip of paper with group E, all the way through F, D, E, and F, 5 groups. And I was to pick one of those groups, that's called a simple random sample. Versus a random sample where I take all your names and put in the bowl. So, there you go. Good test question.
But see, that answer was wrong.
No, the answer that's wrong is the answer, hold on. Trying to find my cursor. When you hover over that red or click on it, there.
Oh, okay.
Somebody answered 3028, and the actual answer is what's in the box.
That was me thinking it was a 4, not a 47. I told you.
I'm worried about you. I'm really worried about you.
Pray for me, Hubert.
I will. I will, even though we're not supposed to say pray, because that might offend somebody. I'll pray for you. Delete. 5.5 is the Russians. We got 2 55s here. 2 people sent this one in, so it must be a challenging
It's not just
question.
me, Hubert.
5.5 55/17, and we'll do both of them if they're a good question. We'll do both of them. Yep, this one is a little bit okay. This is just like the flag question. So you might want to put flag question on this one. And since I've learned how to use the text, I'm going to use it again. Well, this thing's incredibly slow. And he said last night that it shouldn't be this slow. He said something didn't install correctly. I said, well, y'all need to fix it. And that's not working now. It's a conspiracy. Okay, so you might want to put flag question on this one. So 10 factorial goes on the top. And then you got to count and see if you got any repeats. I see 2 B's, so that's going to be 2 factorial. Any other 2's? C, that's factorial. I don't see any other repeats, and I don't care about the other ones because 1 factorial. Somebody tell me what 1 factorial is. 1. So you're going to multiply everything by 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. Actually, those are supposed to be factorials, but 1 factorial is 1, so I'm not worried about it. What's 2 times 1? 2. And what's 2 times 1? 2. So it's going to be 10 factorial divided by 2 factorial times 2 factorial. And if you do it in your calculator, let's do it so everybody can see how I do it. I think I have it already in there. Yeah, here it is. 10 factorial, which is 3628800, divided by 2 factorial times 2 factorial. And I put that bottom in 2 sets of parentheses just to make sure it's isolated from this fraction bar. And that gives me 907200, which is the correct answer. And like I told you before, this is like the flag question. You just have to do it a little bit different. I mean, the same steps apply. And that's the same as the next question. It's probably going to be the same question, but we will go ahead and look at it anyway. .550, same number. Yeah, it looks like the same. Of course, the top's going to be 10 factorial, because it says 10-letter words. So 10 factorial over J, that's 2 factorial. Do y'all see anything else that's repetitive? I'm looking. Then that's going to be 1 factorial, which is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1.
S is repeating.
What is repeating?
S.
S.
Oh, thank you. You got to have 2 sets of eyeballs, because sometimes you look over stuff. Of course, some of y'all are perfect, but I'm not perfect. So some of you females are perfect, and I'm not perfect. All right, so that'll leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, 1 times 1. Actually, those are supposed to be 1 factorials, but I'm not going to do all that. So same thing, you're going to get the same answer. Y'all didn't say anything about my perfect comment. Yeah, did y'all miss it or what? Or did y'all just ignore it? Okay. So I couldn't even get a rise out of some of y'all. I figured that would have, but nothing. Y'all just not into it today, are you? I know what it is. This is Sahara dust. Some of y'all gonna get a taste of what it feels like to live in the desert. That's a good thing. I think everybody should learn how to live in the desert. I lived in it for 9 months. Sucked.
Wait, what's going on?
Oh my gosh! Don't tell me you have not heard the Sahara mist that's coming up.
No, I
When's
don't
it
watch
coming?
TV.
It's coming. It's supposed to hit Texas Friday, and then it's going to
Here.
go over toward Alabama, and everybody from Texas to Virginia is going to get a taste of it.
So we're just gonna get a sandstorm.
It's not. It's more like a dust storm. Basically it's just going to affect the sunsets and the sunrise. You're going to be able to see it more during the sunset and the sunrise, but you may see a little bit of cloudiness, but no clouds. So we're all going to die. So
2020 is looking like, if we survive, we'll
2020
be
sucks.
2020 is gonna be an achievement if we survive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I personally don't think. I think most of it is produced, so I'm not going to say anything there. Let me just say this: after November, a lot of it's going to go away.
That's something that you put in your resume. I survived 2020.
There you go. All right, so
I'm still trying to figure out if Corona's still out there. They keep having all these outbreaks, but it's like on pause.
Yeah.
The flu disappeared, so there's no more flu. So it just disappeared.
Just the
like I
rising
said,
outbreak.
after November, the flu will come back. Oh, you know how Corona disappeared when there was protest and riots? It just disappeared, and then it came back.
Mm-hmm.
But after November, everything will get back to normal.
That's kind of
Okay.
like being 6 feet away from each other, but not 6 feet next to each other.
Well, I don't like people anyway, so I don't get around people, so I'm not anything to worry about.
Same.
As my
I'm
son
right there with
said,
you.
my son said, "Daddy, nothing's changed for you." I said, "No, I still stay out here and I use Amazon and only go to Ingles early in the morning when nobody's there." All right, so 5.5 57/18. And I just get out to go to Ingles so I can throw beer bottles in Mr. Yates's front yard. A golf course architect has 6 Indian trees, or not Indian trees, sorry. Hope I didn't offend anybody. 6 linden trees, 4 white birch trees, and 3 bald cypress trees to plant in a row along a fairway. In how many ways can the landscaper plant the tree in a row, assuming that the trees are evenly spaced? I believe this is like the flag question. I haven't seen this question before, but I believe 6 plus 4 is what? 10 and 3, so that'd be 13 factorial. Let me just check right quick. I want to make sure. Yeah, it is. I thought so. I thought it was like the flag question. I wanted to make sure it was a flag question. So 13 on top. 13 on top. Go away. I don't know why it does that. 13 factorial over. Well, how many we got? We got 6 linden trees, 4 birch trees, and 3 bald cypress trees. So let's take our handy dandy calculator. And I'm going to type in 13 factorial, 13 math, factor over to probability and factorial, divided by, and it really don't matter about parentheses until you get to the denominator. You've got to separate the denominator from the numerator by, I'm going to type in 2 sets of parentheses, and that's going to be 6 factorial, 6 math, close parentheses, times 4 factorial. And y'all might want to research making a hotkey for the factorial button, but that's just me. You don't have to. You can do that, you know, just look up hotkeys in on your TI owner's manual or online owner's manual, and you can make a hotkey for that factorial. But it's up to you if you want to do it. Times 3 factorial, parentheses, 3 math, probability, factorial, enter, close parentheses on the 3, and then close parentheses for the denominator, and enter. I got 60,060. Ding! I feel good about myself. So you got a flag question. You got a letters, 10 letters with repeats. That's the flag question. And then this question, which is golf course, 6 trees or 10 trees or 13 trees, whatever. So you got a tree question, a flag question, and a, I forgot. 10-letter word or 10-letter configuration with repeating letters. So all 3 of those questions are the same type question. Next question. 5.5, 61/19. The grade appeal process at a university requires that a jury be structured by selecting 4 individuals from students, pool of 8 students, and 8 faculty. What is the probability of selecting a jury of all students? Let me read that again. The grade appeal process at a university requires that a jury be structured by selecting 4 individuals randomly from a pool of 8 students and 8 faculty. Okay, so the jury is 4 students, right? Jury be structured by selecting 4 individuals. The jury is 4. So you need to write that down. The jury is equal to 4. Now, the students, you have a pool of 8, and you have a pool of 8 faculty. So that's 16. So the jury, the denominator is going to be the denominator. Let's write down the denominator. Denominator is going to be 16 combination of 4, because the jury is going to have at least 16 of these people on there, and there's going to be 4 on the jury. So 16 people to choose from, and a group of 4 out of that group of 16. How many different combinations of 4 can you have? That's your denominator. So for probability of all students, that's going to be your denominator. Probability of all faculty, that's going to be your denominator. And 2 students and 2 faculty, that's going to be your denominator. Everybody with me? So I'm going to put denominator there, denominator there, denominator there. And let's go ahead and do combination. I'll do it so everybody can see it. 16 math probability combination of 4. 1820. So 1820 is going to be each one of these denominators. All right, now what is the probability of having all students? Well, you know, all students, there's going to be 4 students. But how many students do we have to pick from? 8. Same thing with the faculty. And the last one, what is the probability well, that's going to be same thing. It says, but it's going to be 2. So that's going to be of the 2 students, that's going to be 8 combination 2 times 8 combination 2 for the faculty. So somebody do this one, do the top one, and tell me if you get that number right there. Somebody do the second one.
That's the correct answer. That's what I got.
And then third, somebody do this one. Or you can just do 8 combination 2 and multiply it by itself because they're both the same thing. And then put that over 1820, you should get this number. Question, great, complaint. Okay. And the last question is 5.5 71/20. 5.5 71/20. A certain organization recommends the use of passwords with the following formats. Constant, I'm going to write this on the top. Constant, go away. Constant, vowel, constant, vowel, or consonant, sorry. Consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant, number, number. For example, pen ray 45. Consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant, number, number. Well, we know the numbers are going to be 10, 0 through 9. And we know they're going to give you 21 consonants. And 5 vowels. Looks like to me, you're just going to multiply those together, I would assume. So multiply those together, please. Oh, excuse me. Somebody multiply 21 times 5 times 21 times 21 times 5 times 21 times 10 times 10. Now you could do 21 to the 4th power times 5 to the 2nd power times 10 to the 2nd power. I really don't care how you do it. Somebody give me the number when you get it.
I got 486.
486.
202 500.
Somebody confirm.
Yes.
And check it. Fantastic. Now they're going to ask you to think a little bit. How many passwords are possible if the case values are sensitive? What's the difference? What does case sensitive do to an A? It's either lowercase a or what? Uppercase a. So that changes everything by 2. I'm going to take my handy dandy
Priority 1 message
red
coming in
pen.
on secure channel.
I don't like to use red. Let's use magenta. And that's going to be 42, 10, 42, 42, 10, 42. What about these two? What are these two going to be?
10.
10 and 10. Why didn't those change?
Because they're not letters.
Oh, they're numbers. You can't have a capital 10 or a capital 4. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Now, let's see what we get here, because evidently they don't want looks like to me, they don't want a number. They want an exponent. So let's see what they get. All right, we got 1, 2, 3. Well, I see 420, so there's 420. There's 420. There's 420. And there's 420. How many of those? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/20 to the 4th power. Should be delta. Nice work. That's it. How are we feeling? Everybody good?
Better than before.
Yes.
All right. So here is your homework. 1, when's homework due?
Tonight.
Tonight.
And when's the test due?
Monday.
So y'all need to be working on the test and the homework. Those of you that finish over, let's say, and have the weekend, you need to go ahead and rereading 6:1 and 6:2. And that's going to be it for today. So I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to pull up the handy dandy and turn off. I won't go over one more time. The test is due Monday, and the homework is due tonight. Everybody should be able to finish the homework now, because we covered 5.5 last Tuesday, and we went over questions 5.5. So I gave y'all ample time to send in questions. So what I'm seeing, since I've only got like 5 questions today, is 1, either you haven't done the homework, or 2, you've done the homework and you only had those 5 or 6 questions. So I'm reading it as the latter, of course, and that means that y'all are good to go. So I'm going to hit record and stop the recording, and I'm going to hit